I'll be playing it with the lights off in full cardiac arrest. Hello, my friends, and welcome. Any Dead Space enjoyers out there? I'm talking OG Dead Space, the authentic article. Not that there's anything wrong with sequels, but one thing you should know about me is I'm what they may call a purist. Unless a game or film is intended and dedicated to being a series from the start, the spark of creativity, or let's call it the core experience, can be diluted and augmented when stretched out for multiple iterations. On the other hand, I really enjoy what have been dubbed spiritual successors. Wait, but aren't they just copies of the original with a different setting and characters? I feel like where sequels sometimes try to recapture that spark that made the original so appealing, starting from scratch allows developers to create a new core experience. Callisto Protocol fits this description, as it's a brand new IP from Striking Distance Studio. Callisto Protocol releases on Friday, December 2nd, just 2 days away. I'll be playing it with the lights off in full cardiac arrest, and would like to post my blind playthrough on the channel. I decided to check out an interview with Glauco Longhi. I'm positive I must be fucking butchering his name. My deepest apologies. He is the character director over at Striking Distance. Longhi has an illustrious resume, most recently working on God of War Ragnarok. Here he talks, surprise surprise, creature design, and how design isn't purely cosmetic. The way we designed these characters was mainly based on different needs. So for example, we may need to have a character that runs around on walls. So then we gotta come up with a cool design that allows that creature to climb up on walls and run faster. Some creatures came from the art perspective, like, hey, let's just do something that's very crazy looking. And then we put that in the game and find a way of making it work. Even the greatest artists often draw inspiration from another medium, even some very unrelated to the project at hand. Here Longhi talks about his inspiration for Callisto Protocol and its gruesome art direction. Even some cartoons like SpongeBob. We look at cartoons on the stylization and movement because, although it's super real and immersive, we stylized a lot of things to make them more appealing. So some of the movements, and in the case of the gore, the blood, and how we removed the limbs, there's a push of style to emphasize some of these actions. Cartoons do that very well. Disney, Pixar, or whatever. They give you a message right away. If there's a fast character, you get it right away from the strong silhouettes. Here I think Glauco is exploring how the combat is very immersive and can draw players into the game effectively. We want the player to be able to hit the enemy and have the proper reaction to those hits. And also at the same time, if the enemy hits you, we also want the player to feel the same will happen to them. So it's more like enhancing real life in a way. It's not real life because we're not fighting, but if someone hits you in the head, we expect you to feel the same type of reaction. Maybe he can rip your head off too. Maybe he can rip your arms off the same way you can do to the enemy. I cannot be alone on this, but I prefer not to have my head ripped off. That being said, I appreciate how Dead Space was able to pull me in and genuinely care about Isaac's well-being. I'm hoping Callisto Protocol can achieve that same level of fear that was present in Dead Space. Longhi talks dismemberment and how Callisto Protocol is seemingly built around making it easy for the developers to dissect both the creatures and protagonist through combat and environmental mishaps. That system was built in a way that gives animators the freedom to dismember the limbs and give designers the ability to dismember the limbs. It gave environment artists the ability to dismember characters. So for example, you might face areas where you have these environmental hazards and you could step on them and you die. We can add things very easily now. So it's basically if you have an idea, yes, we can do it. There are no limitations anymore. Callisto Protocol is a game I've been very interested in since it was announced late 2020. Is it ass? Or will it exceed my wildest expectations and find a place among the horror classics like Resident Evil? We will find out Friday. That's it for today. Consider subscribing for more upcoming game information. As always, have fun and stay safe, my friends.